PA's a prick, man. gonna run ads real quick so we get this started, so you don't have to watch them for a minute. Open his hand. Yeah. What up, friendly fire? All right. How's everybody doing? We're live. What's going on, everybody? Chat, how we living? Get the fuck out my house. Perry's in the chat. Geeks. How's everybody doing on this lovely Thursday in a late September? What up, Dip? What up, Friendly Fire? What up, Chardonnay? Friendly Fire has the Wook flu. Did you go to Lost Lands? I heard the Wook flu goes around at Lost Lands. Yeah, we're live. We're live and direct. This is Patch Notes 5. That means that we've been doing this for 5 months. Super excited. For those of you that are new to the stream, Patch Notes is sponsored by this incredible music school called Future Proof. And I started it with one of my very good friends. And we're doing some amazing things. And tonight, I wanted to highlight one of our most valued members of Future Proof, which is Petey. Petey Clicks. Petey Clicks, so much more than just an incredible artist, but an amazing instructor. We're going to get a little bit into his background and all of the teaching he's been doing over a long time, and all the amazing work he's done for Future Proof and a bunch of other people as well. So don't forget that you can start your free trial at Future Proof. 7-day free trial, you get access to everything. When you join Future Proof, you get monthly mentorship, a personalized curriculum, an amazing community, and daily workshops every single day, all for $100 a month. It's insane. And if you sign up for a year, you get 2 months for free. Kind of crazy. I think there's actually a bug right now where you actually get 3 months for free. So go to futureproofmusicschool.com. That's the plug. I don't want to plug too much. And let's get right into it. Let's let the man, the myth, the legend, Petey in. Petey. Oh, wait, hold up. I got to do this. That's the wrong one. There he is. Petey.
Hello. What up?
Looking like a nice background as always. I always adore your Zoom backgrounds.
I'm at the beach.
You're at the beach. I feel like last time you were an angel.
I am sometimes an angel. I like to get my halo out.
Yeah.
Fix your mix down. You know.
Absolutely.
Guardian angel.
Everyone needs someone to help them fix their mix down.
Absolutely.
Do you have a mentor, someone who helps you at this stage in your career, deep in the game?
Just Jesus, baby. Nah.
How are his mix downs? So, like, can he mix?
I mean, honestly, I guess like AC.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we always trade stuff, but it's like, this is cool, or this, I don't know about this one. You know, it's not really like.
When you send tracks to Aaron, does he? By the way, chat, we're speaking about AC Slater, the legend,
the goat,
the man responsible for many people's careers,
right?
At least helping, get those things off the ground. But when you send tracks to him, I know you guys are obviously really close, but do you think that when he gives you feedback, it's from either a producer, a friend, or a label manager?
I don't know, man. I think it's more just like a fan, really. It's just like, do you like this or not? You know, and that's kind of like a real driving force as far as what we release at Nightbase too, because we've kind of opened up the gates genre-wise, doing a couple different things now, and we've kind of changed what we sound like and stuff, but it's mostly just like, do we like it?
How so? What's the changes that have happened?
Well, you know, we've done a bit more tech house in the last couple years, and we did a couple drum and bass songs, and we're opening up to kind of some of the quicker things the damn kids are doing these days.
What, like speed house and stuff, or?
I don't like that word, but quicker tempos.
Sure. Sorry. Hands off.
Yeah. Don't make me say bro step.
Say it. I love it. That is my favorite term. What do you mean? Bro step is the most. There's lots of subgenres in every genre of electronic music, right? But there's not a word that's more descriptive than bro step.
Yeah, totally.
And boy, do I adore bro step and its return.
Oh yeah, seems like there's a big, the cyclical nature of dance music is returning once again.
The cycles be cycling, and
they do.
Absolutely. I'm waiting for the the really specific parts of things to like what I do love about the cyclical nature of at least electronic music is that when it does return, it feels fresh in
It
some
does.
way. Like they're not gonna bring out the 200 hertz 10K, like 10 decibel boost snare
Mhm.
anymore. Like I was
Are you talking
watching
about the
videos,
doof snare?
you
The
know,
doof,
the doof. Yes, exactly.
doof. It actually sounds like the word doof.
Yes, exactly. Like you just slam 200 hertz as loud as you
Yeah.
can and hope that there's a little bit of high end. But what I like,
2013 was a great year, man.
oh my god, don't get me started. Girl step. Charmaine says girl step. I think I like that.
Yeah, I like that
In
too. Yeah.
response to bro step, I love it.
Mm. Mhm.
But like, so I was watching, Lost Lands was this past weekend, and
Yep.
my
I caught a little
my
bit myself.
feed, yeah, I just like random feed stuff, and I heard like all the music that built my career. That the
Mhm.
style is live, and it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
But like the snare is different.
Yeah.
It's there are things that are different that make it feel more modern. The mix down obviously matters now, which
Yeah.
it just never did before. Do you, in your experience, have you like did mix downs matter to you as much in the beginning as they do now?
No, honestly, I didn't
Are you a
really
big mix
start.
down guy?
I wasn't when I started. I am
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah, okay.
I thought I could like produce my way out of having good mix downs for a long time.
I think you could.
Yeah. But I also think I just kind of got bored and it was like a fun new thing to tackle after a while too.
Yeah,
And I was spending a lot of time with Mesta, which
he's good.
I don't know if you guys know Mesta Vish, but he's a great mix master engineer. And I would just ask him questions and he'd give me one word answers, but it after a while I started to get it, and it's fun. It's honestly, it's like that's really saved me a lot in mentoring is like I can always help someone with their mix
Mm.
where I might not have great creative feedback or understand what the hell a 21-year-old's doing musically right now, but I can help you sound better, you know?
Yeah. I mean, well, how often is that just normally the thing that needs to happen anyways, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not all the
Eh,
time, but I do love being able to help someone with their mix down because
yeah.
sometimes I feel like, and I'm curious about your opinion on this as a mentor, I always try and kind of set the lines as far as exactly trying to understand what they want, right?
Mhm.
I tiptoe around creative advice, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you down? Like, do you want
Yeah.
this? Everyone, not everyone, but most people can use objective mixing advice.
Yeah.
Creative advice
I
is
feel
like,
like everyone needs it. Even the
yeah,
legends. Like you kind of just like you need somebody to taste the spaghetti sauce before you serve it because
yes,
you've been cooking it all day and you're lost in the sauce, as they say.
yeah,
Just to quote back to Tony's amazing analogy that he used when he was on here. Um,
yeah, yeah. He
yeah.
did. He did drop bombs for sure. Tony did. That was a great one.
Um, I feel like, I reached a point in my career where I didn't really care about creative feedback anymore. And I think that is kind of a turning point for most producers where they're like, I'm doing what I want to do and I don't care what you think about it. But I feel like forever somebody can tell you your snare's too loud. You
Yeah,
know?
but do you think that that is a mark, a sign of like, okay, cool, I've made it to a point now. Like, if a producer is able to say, "Cool, I'm not gonna listen to anything you said."
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like it's more of like a psychological thing, just confidence, you know? It goes back to like this amazing Amon Tobin interview I always reference, but as far as being an artist, the best advice is to not listen to advice and to just do whatever you want.
Do you think
And
that that applies to beginners?
um maybe. I think it's cool to seek out uh solutions to problems you're having, technical ones especially, but I think if you just kind of figure shit out on your own, you end up having a much more unique kind of sound anyway. Like people always say that they can tell my songs are my songs within seconds of the intro. And a lot of that's because I learned how to produce in my mom's basement before YouTube existed.
Hmm.
And I figured shit out on my own, and I have my own backwards way of doing things, or I circumnavigated a problem instead of solving it, or I did something over and over and over until it became part of me. So Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of people learn a couple other people's style, and that's how they get their style, you know, and it, but you know, most of all, what's really going to help you as an artist is uniqueness and standing out. And I think a lot of beginners are framed around making something that's of an acceptable quality, and they want to fit in with other artists quality wise, which is okay, but there's a turning point in your career when you realize that, like, I need to stand out instead of fit in.
Yeah, I think that there's always a pivotal point. I feel like there's so many little mountains that you climb as an artist, right? And when you get
Yeah,
to the top of the one, you're like, oh fuck, there's another one. It's way bigger. But I think one of the really big mountains is when you get to the point where you're like, I feel like I know how to make music, but it just doesn't sound like my favorite artists, you
yeah,
know? And I think that that's a really tough one to get over
totally.
because you kind of have to circumnavigate it in your own way. You know, you
Yeah,
could take advice from a million people and have their opinions on these general topics, and that could actually maybe even backtrack you.
totally. I think the hardest part is like, kind of trusting yourself, and even finding out who you are and what you really want as an artist can be difficult. I feel like it's a moving target. I always tell my students that you're kind of like an archaeologist, like dusting the dust off of the dinosaur bones of who you are as an artist, and that's
Mm,
just how inspiration works. Like the only constant is change, you know, and you're gonna kind of be interested and inspired by different things, and kind of following that through. That's really like where a lot of the blockage comes from, is seeing yourself as something different than what your inspiration's telling you what to do.
it's an ego
Um,
thing.
yeah, basically where you're like, I'm having non-dubstep ideas, but I'm forcing them into this dubstep hole. And it's like that's where the blockage comes from a lot of time. Like,
Mm,
who are you to tell your inspiration that it's wrong?
mm. Where do you think that inspiration comes from? Like I
Who knows?
who knows, right? You
I-
know,
it-
it's about like, are you what did Sammy said something last week, LS Stream, about being like you're either the vessel of inspiration, like you export inspiration or inspiration runs through you.
yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. That was an interesting thought to think
Yeah.
about. Is like,
I
I don't
always say
know.
you're like a courtroom stenographer, you know, like you're just recording what goes through your head. And who
Mm,
knows where that comes from? I mean, we hear creatives of all different facets of life talk about it, from directors to artists and stuff. But like, that's one of the craziest things about being a producer, really, is like you could look at a puddle in the street and have an idea, you know, you could hear the hydraulics in the plane when it lands and be inspired to get into serum or something like that.
right.
And so some of that mystery of where it comes from and how it works is that's kind of like the next journey as far as producers go. Once you understand how compressors work, it's like, how do I stay inspired? Where does that come from? And for everybody, it's different. It changes, you know, it might be going to the beach or going on hikes or watching films or going to museums. I will say the longer I've been producing, the less music inspires me.
Oh my God, that's so real. Well, I want to ask you, where do you where's your like inspiration hose that you drink from? Is it in any one particular place? Can you even track it down?
I lost it, man. I don't know where it is right now. It's eluding me
What do you mean, right? Oh,
currently
you're talking about in this moment.
in this moment. Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you
But
do? What do you do in times like this?
um, freak out normally. Right now though, honestly, it feels really good to. I've been saying this a lot, but unstring the bow.
Hmm,
You know, my brother told me this. My brother, a very wise man, but
hmm.
a bow loses its elasticity if it is never
True.
unstrung. You know, and I don't know about you, but I've been making music since I was 8, and I'm 38 now.
Yeah.
And I've been in the game for a long time, and
Yeah.
you know, it's okay to stop. There's a great Madlib interview where they ask him what he does when he has writer's block, and he says he takes a year off.
That's the long game.
That is the long game,
Well,
but
that's
we're
true
we're in the long
belief,
game, man.
but that tells me that that dude knows that like he'll just make music forever,
Yeah,
no matter what. And a year is a drop in the puddle, right? It's
it
like
is. Yeah.
whatever. And I do think that's such an interesting point because I think that a lot of producers will put this kind of expiration date on their
Mhm.
goals, right? They're
Yeah.
like, fuck, man, if I'm not playing the stage in 5 years, like I didn't do it, you know? And it's
Yeah.
like, man, I tell people all the time that the only people that are successful are the ones who just love learning,
Yeah.
right? And love the
Beginner's mindset.
journey. Yeah, forever. You
Or
know,
you go
you
work with Jake or Sonny or something, they're gonna ask you what you do.
yeah,
They're not gonna flex what they know, they're
so
interested in
real.
growing and learning and stuff, and it's that you really plateau when you think you know everything.
I know from experience because I did
Uh,
that. I
yeah,
did that and I was able to catch it.
yeah,
But boy, did I lived there for like 2 years where
yeah,
I was like, fuck, I don't give a fuck. It's fine.
yeah.
Everything's fine.
And
And
just to prove it, you get a new plugin or try something like
yeah.
go to a new genre, and you're just this wave of creativity hits you
Mm,
because you're learning. I feel like
yeah.
it's this shit's a Rubik's cube. Each little genre you go through is a Rubik's cube, and after a while, you kind of know how it works, and that's not inspiring. There's a puzzle to it.
Mm,
We're problem solvers. That's why everyone that makes music plays video games. It's the same skill set. We're the raptors testing the fence. We're the clever girls. You know.
yeah. That's so real. I mean, you really do have to it's this abstract thing of this Oz, right?
Hmm.
This mystery decision maker that you never know how to truly please. It's like the
Yeah, yeah.
TikTok algorithm. It's just you don't know what it wants. You just
Hey,
you shoot your shot, and I think that that's like it's this.
it's almost not even worth worrying about.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Not worrying about it. Easier said than done for most people.
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
I found in this game, the more I try to intellectually big brain it, the worse it goes, and the more I like caveman brain just do the fucking art, it just comes out a lot better.
What about mixing?
Yeah, that's the different story.
Kid, that's such a unique thing about music production is there's this just
Yeah,
crazy objective like this mixing thing that's like follow the rules.
yeah,
Maybe you can break the rules if you're good enough, but follow them and
yeah,
also don't break them, but maybe break them. And then there's creativity, which is
yeah,
clay, right?
yeah.
And it's like whatever you want. And the best people have found this
The
middle ground.
master of two worlds.
Yeah, which is hard because one of those worlds is hard enough,
Yeah.
and the other world is even harder. So it's like it's tricky. That's why it's like you can't trip about it. You can't stress about it.
Hmm.
It really is about the journey. And it sounds like that sounds like a really corny thing to say to someone like low
Yeah.
key, but
No, totally.
I feel like a
I
lot of
always go
corny
back
things
to
are
the
true.
Grammy Skrillex interview where he says success is something you attract, not something you create, it's wild to think about that, but like it's about loving making music, and if you're driven by what you're going to get out of it, inspiration in the universe has a way of like keeping the ball from you.
Mm,
When you're like, man, I want to live in Calabasas and drive a Lambo, and it's like,
no, that doesn't
if
work.
if that's what's if that's what's driving you to make music, it's just the odds are it's not going to happen for you. And I don't know why it is that way. You can market, you can have the best marketing team in the world and stuff, but if your music's uninspired and unauthentic, people can like feel it. People can feel the desperation, you know.
Yeah, it's like blood in the water for sharks. The same thing. It's just like fans nowadays, people who consume artist music are so close to being music producers themselves, like
Mhm.
more than ever. Like I remember looking
Absolutely.
out into a sea of people and being like, none of these people are gonna do like or trying to do what I'm doing. But
Yeah.
like if you were on the main stage at Lost Lands last weekend,
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
Like
They're judging you.
crazy. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot more remember, like this meme,
Yeah.
like how producers
Absolutely.
listen to music. There's whole lot more of that in the
I
crowd now.
I also think that like dubstep is sound design music, and it kind of attracts people that are into serum.
So you don't think that looking at just so okay, so based on genre, do you think it changes the amount of people in the
Yeah.
crowd that want to be producers?
Oh yeah. You can
Mm,
just look out and see how many women are out there, and you can kind of tell straight up. I mean, that I noticed that a lot coming from like trap and dubstep and switching over to house. Uh, Totally different vibe.
I wanted to talk to you about clicks and whistles.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So, how did you get into electronic music production?
gotta
So
go
you say
way
you
back.
started when you were really young, but you clearly weren't
Yeah,
making.
yeah.
Were you making trap bangers at 8?
Actually,
What
I
What were you
was.
doing? Well,
I
okay.
was. My dad got us a Gateway 2000 in 1997, and it had part of the software package. It had Free Loops too.
Ooh,
Yeah,
no, it was not FL Studio. It was the loops.
Fruity Loops too.
Hell
And
yeah.
I thought it was just like a game, and I was 8. Like I didn't know anything about anything, and I was in orchestra and jazz band at school, so I was just
What
plinking
instruments did
around.
you play?
I played upright bass
Cool.
all through. And I ended up like moving to Chicago in 7th grade, and I was in the Chicago Public Schools Jazz Quartet, and I got to do a lot of cool stuff. We played with Frank Sinatra Jr. and
Wait, you
I
lived in Chicago?
yeah, I went to high school in Chicago.
Okay, cool. So how long were you in VA?
Pretty much my whole life outside of that. I moved to Chicago in 7th grade. I moved back junior year, and I was there until I was about 22.
Were you in the city? Were you in the burbs or what?
In
In
Chicago?
Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in the Gold Coast on Division. I lived probably 5 blocks from the Hancock Tower.
Okay. Sick.
Right in there. I went to really cool like downtown schools and got exposed to all kinds of cool culture and
Right, I
music.
bet. That's
I was in
sick.
a pop punk band and jazz quartet at school and got
You
to
never stopped
experience
claiming
some
the
stuff.
Ravens.
Nope. I was a big Ravens fan, honestly. I
Uh,
mostly got into football after that though. I became a big football fan in my 20s, really.
when did you move to Los Angeles?
2013.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I lived in Charlotte for a bit before that, but
Great airport.
great airport, Bojangles.
Okay, all
Got
day.
the rocking chairs, man. But yeah, I
Yeah.
went to I had just gotten off Holy Ship and gotten broken up with, and I went to South by Southwest and I was staying with John, and he was like, "Dog, just come live on my couch." And I did. I changed my flight and went there with a bag and $500 and never came back.
You know the power of John Dada.
Yeah, dude. I was just playing Diablo with him like 10 minutes ago. So
Absolutely.
that's the dog.
Wait, you're still grinding okay.
Oh, bro. Absolutely.
All right, chill. All right, I'm back. I'll re-download. Okay, hold up. Don't put me back on. I've been out.
He was up all night, bro. He up till 11 a.m. this morning, all night playing Diablo.
Fuck me, dude.
Yeah, man.
Don't put the nightmare mode on, man. So okay, there's something about back to just briefly touching on you saying a Ravens fan, but there's
Yeah.
something about being from Nashville, there's something about moving to Los Angeles
Mhm.
that makes you want to just claim where you're from
Yeah.
more than anything because people
Most
in
people here aren't
LA
from here.
just like but like
Yeah.
no shade on anyone from LA, but man, I was just never friends with anyone who was from LA, and I just was naturally gravitated towards the people that weren't,
Yeah.
except for John. But
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he was like the
Gemini
exception.
power, bro.
Yeah. So like,
Me and John are born the same week. Our birthdays, we have joint birthday parties sometimes.
interesting, as you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about living in LA for me that was such a life. I mean, I lived there for 9 years. It was such a life experience for me, and I'm so glad I did it, and I'm also kind of glad I left. But
I feel like it's an exponential modifier. If you're having a good time, you're having a great time. If you're having a bad time, you're having a real bad time. Like
so true.
there's no middle ground, It's
Yeah.
an extreme place. But
Yeah. I do miss just like living amongst my peers.
yeah.
Like that to me, it was raining inspiration for me. I remember going to the club with my boys to just to leave and go make music.
Yeah.
Like that, I did that every. I don't want. I'm afraid to say every day, but like a lot for 8 years, and the amount of
There's
music
something every night. There's 50 things every night.
Yeah, but like we were just making music all day, every day, and I really do miss that. It doesn't, at least in my experience, it's never even come close to existing anywhere else.
It's nice. It's nice to be around a lot of creative people. I feel like
True.
via osmosis or something. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just leaks.
Everyone out there is grinding. I mean, I remember growing up in Nashville. Every stereotype I had ever heard about anyone from Los Angeles was just absolutely true, and it's servers looking for an acting job, and it's everyone's out there on their shit all day,
Yeah.
every day, and it's its own weird, unique thing. And I think that I'm so glad I did it, but I'm also kind of glad I got out of there. I just it was a little too much for me.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot. It's a lot. And you know, if it's very expensive, it's very competitive, you know, and it can get in your head, which can be good or bad, you know. But
yeah,
a lot of people come and go, but honestly, I love it. It feels like home to me now. I married a California girl, you know. It's she's from San Diego though, a little bit chiller down there.
totally chill, the
Yeah,
chillest.
yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I love it here. I also like. I never really felt like Virginia was the place for me.
Hmm.
Like even as a small child, like I was a computer person. Like where I'm from is a small kind of city on the Appalachian Trail up in the mountains and stuff. And like I hate being outside, to be honest.
Mm-mm.
Well, for most of my life, I'm becoming more into it now.
Oh wait, sorry.
But
I was hyping you up on that because I'm the same way.
yeah, no, I remember when I was a kid. I grew up as a Boy Scout. I did a lot of hiking and camping, and I took acid as a teenager. And I was like, I hate being outside.
That was your
Yeah,
realization on acid,
yeah.
was that you don't like being outside.
It was like
Damn, that's
the
sick.
opposite of everyone else. I
No,
was
that's
like,
sick.
yeah,
No, but it was exactly probably what you needed to
yeah,
understand. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. And so, you know, I kind of, you know, I was always into electronic music and death metal and, you know, a lot of things that were not in Roanoke, Virginia, you
Right.
know. So I kind of knew early on that I had to get out and figure that out, you know.
So when did Clicks and Whistles start?
Clicks and Whistle started when I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
I guess I was 22 or something, and I had gotten out of my hometown. Charlotte's about 3 hours south of Roanoke, so it's like not that much of a move, you know. It's like could still run home if things got bad. It wasn't that scary, but I ended up being there for a few years. But I met a dude online that on a forum that I was posting my
Forums.
music. Yeah, I was called Turbo P back then.
Ooh.
Says it on my arm.
Hold up. You got
Uh,
the Turbo Pete? That's honestly
that's like
sick.
one of the first ones I got.
It's
Kind of,
it's
yeah.
just like that's the Virginia Pusha T.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, I was just posting them on a forum online, and this dude booked me to come down and play in Charlotte, and we just kind of became friends, and then
Yeah.
ended up kind of being in a duo. I think
Yeah.
a lot of it had to do with I wasn't very confident in myself because in Clicks and Whistles, like I was kind of the producer, and he was a little bit more of like a manager kind of guy.
Hmm.
He also was a great DJ and taught me how to DJ. Like I didn't, there were no CDJs in my town. You know, I didn't. I was DJing in Ableton on my first couple tours and stuff. So it was, yeah, and we did that for a while, until I moved to LA. The old Clicks and Whistles, dude. Good days though, man. I remember those fondly. That was kind of
But
the
even
beginnings of trap music and all that.
yeah, absolutely. But even by the time that me and you met in 2013,
Hmm.
2012,
Yeah, I was still Clicks and Whistles
it
then, I
was Clicks
think.
and Whistles?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of right around when Night Base started, I kind of switched over to Petey Clicks.
Okay. Okay.
Which
Yeah,
is just
that
my Twitter handle, PD from Clicks and
yeah,
Whistles turned
yeah,
into
of
PD
course.
Clicks. Like,
For
yeah,
sure. For sure. Man, that was I remember that night,
yeah. Where were we in Oklahoma or some shit?
Arkansas.
Arkansas, Fayetteville.
Mhm. Fable.
Yeah, dude.
Fable,
That was the
Arkansas.
first time I saw a Brodum pole in the wild.
The first time you don't forget.
Yeah, you never forget your first Brodum pole.
I feel like no one in the chat knows what a Brodom pole is.
Brodum pole is dude on dude shoulders in the rave, like
Like that's just a
the
term
Brodum
that
pole.
went away with Gen Z. Like that's just a term that hasn't been spoken. But that was such a thing for sure.
The Brodum pole.
The
Yeah,
Brodom pole, yeah, that was a good night. That's Alex B.
yeah.
We're so for everyone in the chat right now, we're talking about the first time I met PD, and also really my first kind of travel date on a tour was in 2012 or 2013. Me and PD and Paper Diamond were played. It was Paper Diamond's tour. We were
Hmm.
playing Fayetteville, Arkansas, and you guys had that little tour bus, the
Hmm.
and
Bandwagon.
the BW. And I was seeing
Yeah.
PD on the bunk, but that's when Alex B taught me about tequila and ginger beer,
Mm,
which is such an Alex B drink,
totally.
you know?
Oh yeah. I haven't seen him in forever.
Dude, I talk to him like fairly often.
Really? He's still in New
Hmm.
Zealand, right?
Yeah. So he goes
Yeah.
back and forth between New Zealand and LA, but he spends
Interesting.
most of his time in New Zealand. But Alex did all of the branding for Underdog, my label. And we wanted to hire him initially for Future Proof to do all the website design
Yeah.
because the dude
He's
just does
amazing.
he just does everything. He's
Yeah.
just like for me, Alex was probably my first mentor ever.
Yeah.
Like with
Mm,
Elman Oak and all the amazing shit that he was doing. Like the dude just
yeah.
he's one of those people that can kind of just do anything. Like
Absolutely.
he's a full-time software engineer now.
Wow.
Just during COVID, he was like me on
Yeah.
music and just started learning how to code. And
Some artists learn to
also,
pivot too good.
dude, I mean, he pivoted into coding and then he pivoted into 3D modeling.
Yeah, I've seen some of the work
And then
he's done.
he's like, next thing you know, he owns a music festival out
He's like
there.
he's a
And it's just,
painter now
yeah,
too.
he's just the dude.
He's a Renaissance man.
He's just always been that guy. That's like, you meet a few of those people. I can name them on probably one hand. The
Right.
people that just kind of know what's next all the time.
Yeah.
You know who else? Another one is
Tastemakers, they call them.
Tastemakers. Yeah, Sherwin and Kendrick.
Yeah, man. I
But
saw Sherwin's out with Teddy Swims and shit now.
bro,
Yeah, it's wild.
I love those guys
Yeah, man. I haven't
more
seen
than
them in
anyone.
forever either.
I lived with Shweez for 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Those guys are amazing people, and again, tastemakers for sure.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
all right, cool. So tell me about how like what was what was the pivot like and why?
I was bored.
Hmm.
Yeah, I kind of
Like bored with the genre or bored with what you were doing as a music producer, like the production techniques?
probably both. It really like trap music had really gotten to the point where I'd go play a festival and the eight other artists who were playing were just playing the same songs. And it was, Foster Thomas this and Diplo that. And, back in the day, it was just very kind of echo chambery.
Mm,
And I got bored. I kind of just moved to LA at that point, and I was really relying on DJing and stuff for money.
mm.
Like I had to pay my expensive LA rent with show gigs, and that kind of psychologically got into my creative brain. And every creative decision I made had to please promoters and get me shows, and it really kind of fucked me up, to be honest.
Okay,
Uh,
let's pause there. Do you think that I mean I get it because I did the same thing, and I wonder if there's ever a way around that. If that's something that just a lot of people end up going through. Do you think that you might have dove in? So you said that you moved with $500, right?
mhm,
When lived on John Dada's couch on downtown.
mhm.
And would you do it again?
Yeah,
I feel like yes
absolutely.
is the answer. Would you do it again?
Yeah,
Would you recommend the fuck it?
yeah,
I'm going.
yeah, absolutely. I would recommend
How would you edit it?
I probably wouldn't, to be honest, but
Hmm.
I think that the big thing is you kind of have to follow the serendipity in your life. And if a massive trend-setting DJ tells you that you can come stay on his couch, then you should fucking do it.
Mm.
Like opportunity doesn't always knock twice, and sometimes it knocks pretty quiet. And there's been several pivot points in my life where I've just been like, okay, fuck it. And then it's really worked out for me in the long run. I don't know if it was some universal force pushing me in a certain direction or something, but if I feel like serendipity is calling me to do something like that, or I'm getting a universal chance or something like that, an opportunity, um, I've always tried to follow that and not be scared of it because I feel like that's kind of something leading me in the right direction.
Do you think that you were ready?
No.
But why do you think the universe presented you with that opportunity?
I don't know. Why do we exist, Max?
I don't know,
I have
but
no idea. I have no idea.
yeah, I have no idea. But what I do, okay, but earlier in the conversation, we talked about the universe. We talked about it in
Mhm.
another way, right? We talked about how the universe will duck you from shit if
Yeah,
you're out
yeah,
there for the wrong reason. You obviously have always, since day one, been in it for the right reason. You just love making music, right? So
I
like
do. I do. Yeah.
that's just tried and true. That's We can set that as the baseline. If
Mhm.
we were building the formula for success, it has to start there, right?
Yeah,
It has to start with the undying love for the music that you make, and the knowledge and the quest for knowledge and learning and all of those things is a must.
absolutely.
Non-negotiables, right?
Yeah.
I guess the negotiable is, do you get lucky?
Yeah, I think luck has a big
How lucky did you
part to do
get?
with it. Um, I got lucky in some ways and unlucky in other ways.
Mm,
That's just
I
kind
do
of
know.
how life goes.
Yeah.
There's the ups and the downs of it, and I think that that's kind of a big part of at least understanding how this works. You some people have rode the first wave all the way up, but in most successful artists that I know, there's been ups and downs. And with that comes a little bit of humility and perspective that really helps you realize that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And then maybe you're not as cool as you think. And maybe you need to work with other people and help other people.
I
Um,
feel like you're talking at me.
yeah. No, I mean that's what I, you know, personally learned
No,
from a lot
I mean,
of
you're absolutely right.
that. Yeah.
You also knew me during the time period where I needed to be talked at,
Totally.
and
Totally.
like as many times as I got lucky, which was a lot, luck, I, I also believe that boy, did I work hard to get in that position to be lucky.
Mhm.
So part of me wants to selfishly chalk it up to work ethic.
I never worked hard.
Mm.
I would make the remix the day before it was due in like the last 5 hours.
Okay, but you're
And
super
then
good. That helps.
yeah, I honestly I don't know why, but like I as far as music goes, I'm not a hard worker. I'm a person I do a thing I wait for the feeling, and when the feeling is there, I'm really good.
Mm.
And my life is more about cultivating the feeling than grinding through because I've experienced a lot of like spinning my tires and getting stuck when I try to apply the Protestant work ethic to my music.
Mm.
And it just doesn't work like that for me at least.
So, with that being said, and knowing that, like you then how would you recommend someone does the thing, right? So you're gifted, right?
I'm gifted. I'm gifted. But I think that the real focus here is like we should shift our focus from technical ability and knowledge sometimes to where the inspiration comes from.
Okay, so
And
there ways that you foster that inspiration?
yeah, dude, and you can really talk to musicians from all over about this. Jazz
Yeah.
people say it the best. It's just life, man.
Mm.
Like experiencing living life and putting your human experience into your art. There's something about that that unexplainably relates with people. And the more real you can be with yourself and the more you can put yourself into your music and not try to sound like Zomboy or Skrillex or something like that, the more the people will attach to themselves to that and be like, damn, you're cooking because you're living.
Yeah. I think the older you get, the more you become aware. And when you're younger trying to become an artist, you just have to have the thing where you are living life and able
Mhm.
to channel.
Yeah.
Because I'm obviously we're both teachers, and at this point, and we've both been teaching for probably a combined 20 years. But like
I'm 15 alone, baby.
you're 15, yeah. So I'm like 12. So then we're
That's
above there.
32
So
years.
at this point, as teachers, right? Just speaking as teachers, teachers need to quantify things,
Mhm.
right? Not all the time. Like you can't always quantify the mystical elements. Being a music teacher is really hard.
Absolutely.
It's very easy to teach the rules of mixing.
How do you grade someone's art?
You ask them if they want to grade.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it.
It's like, do you even want to know what I'm about to tell you? And knowing
Yeah.
that, will you take what I'm telling you with a grain of salt? Like you should,
I always tell people that I'm a jaded old asshole and that they should take what I have to say with a grain of salt, you know?
right? There needs to be a preface.
Well, kinda set up the perspective a little bit.
But how valuable is the jaded old asshole advice?
Um, it can be valuable, but man, I can't tell you how many of the times I like, especially when early in my writing or teaching career, that I would be like, "Yeah, kid, this ain't it," and then they went and got famous off that.
Mm,
You know, and it's just because I didn't see it, but I mean, I don't know what's gonna be cool. That's the crazy thing about this, you know? But it's
right.
not about what I can really help people with is not where they're gonna go, but how to think.
Mm,
You know, that's really the hard part. And for honestly, the thing that people mostly want is just to know what it's going to be like. You know, people are there's such a question mark about being an artist and touring and what it takes to kind of make it in this job in this what bossless kind of music game. It's such a mystery, and there's so much misinformation that
mm,
people really just want like experiential advice of like, what did you do in this situation? Like, what was this like when you came to this crossroads? Because there's not a lot of information about that. All the YouTube guys haven't really like done it.
no.
You know, all they can do is speculate and tell you how compressors work and stuff like that. But,
Mm,
you know, they really just basically our experiences are what make us valuable because we're able to say what I should have done or what I learned from this situation or how I wish I would have thought when I was your age, kind of thing.
yeah. One of my most successful office hours ever at Icon was this thing that I call dubstep therapy, where I would just open each office hour with something I just did horribly wrong.
Yeah,
And just to kind of open the room up,
totally.
it literally was the only office hour that I would consider every time was a fucking hit.
Yeah,
And that's why I became a teacher, I think, because I just did everything wrong, and
that's how you
and
get
and
good,
and when
Max.
I was able to make it out,
Yeah, man. I mean,
able
it's
to make
like
it through.
being a producer, being a musician's like walking through a minefield, like,
Mm,
and after you step on enough mines, you kind of know how to get through it. Like,
yeah, you just lose
you,
your legs, you just nub your way through the whole thing.
yeah, like
Yeah,
the way to get better is to fail.
I know. It's tough. It's tough to hear.
It's a
No one wants that.
learn to fail or fail to learn, man. That's what they say. But the funny thing, the thing that I've always attached to and told students as much as I could, and you know, one of my guys just played Nocturnal Wonderland, and he put this on his Instagram. It's like the only way to fail is to quit. Like nobody can tell you you're done except for you. So, you know, you might be Fortet, you might be 45 with gray hair before they're really giving you your flowers and shit, but ain't nobody can say you're done until you decide that you're done. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
really no way to fail. And if you look at all the big hitters, they used to be somebody else. They used a pruning process to get where they are. You know,
Mm,
they're had projects that fail. Nightbase was Slater's third label. You know, Jake used to be E1 before he was Kill the Noise. Like Sonny did fucking emo and shit. And they learned a lot of stuff from their projects that were failures and applied that to their new projects and just honed it down. And it became a better, sleeker design. It's like F1 or some shit, you know?
yeah.
Like you
You upgrade
gotta
that. You don't ride the same whip every year.
no, you upgrade it and you learned from your failures last year and you get better.
Yeah, and you
It's
just
just how
pray
it goes.
that those failures aren't critical failures.
And
You
if it
know,
is, it's not really a critical failure, man. You can always build a new car.
that's why you just are never a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You just like you make let your failures be music failures.
Yeah. If you've been on the bottom enough and on the top enough, after a while, you realize, like, yeah, you know, it comes and goes. You know, just like inspiration and money and happiness, there's an ebb and a flow of everything. And you know, when it's always darkest before the dawn, but you know, it comes and goes, and just like the waves crashing behind me, there's high tides and low tides for all of it, you know. And you know, sometimes you're gonna be feeling like the waves will never come back, but every day they do, you know. It's
Yeah.
that's one of the few things we can count on. So yeah, you know, and yeah, after a little bit of that, you get the perspective and the humility to be like, yeah, man, I'm not on top right now, but it's not even about being on top.
No, it isn't. And on top is just what does that
What
even
does that
mean?
even mean? Like,
Hmm.
you know, and it's what
Does it mean
I
you get to pay your bills?
Dude, my goal to make it was to just like not have a real job.
Right.
I've been
That
I've
should
been
be the
doing that
goal.
since the jump,
I mean,
like
that should be the only fucking goal. That's what I tell.
pay for your life off music is making
Yes.
it.
I
Like,
always tell people at the beginning, you need to define for yourself what success looks like.
yeah,
And the correct answer to that question is that you don't have to work other than
no,
music, right? Like
yep,
there's a million other like variants of that. Like, oh, I do music for sound design, I
mm.
video games, or I do sync licensing, whatever. You don't work for real.
Well, here's the mind fuck though. When you have a job that's not music related, it can really help your music.
Well, yeah. But
I
you must work until
yeah,
you cannot work. But that goes against what you did.
but I go through these periods where I work in the music industry and then I don't, and then I work in the music industry and I don't. And when I work all day in music, I don't want to open Ableton when I get home after I've been teaching people all day.
Yeah.
And I experienced that when I first moved to LA and I was clicks and whistles and I had to pay my rent off shows. It really got in my head. And that's when I started teaching. I ran into Mike Parvisi at John's house and he was teaching at Dubspot and he hooked me up there and said it'd be good because I was teaching John how to use Ableton. He
Hmm.
was like, you'd be good. And then suddenly my music became so much better because I was making it for me again instead of what the promoters wanted, you know?
Yeah. Also, becoming the teacher was the best thing I could ever do for how good I was as an artist.
Right?
Like, absolutely. Like,
It's
as
like you're
soon
a
as I
student at
started
the same
teaching,
time.
well, yeah, you just don't realize how much you've never spoken out of your mouth. Like, as soon
Yeah.
as you start to have to explain,
Yeah.
like,
You
like, you realize
teacher
how much you don't
stuff
know.
out of your own projects. Like I would
Yeah.
show stuff and people would be like, why'd you do that? And I'd be like, I don't know. Let me think about it. And
Yeah.
I had to learn something from myself, you know? Because a lot of times, honestly, when I'm in the zone, it's like Goku in the gravity chamber. Like I don't even remember what I did. And that kind of goes back to the
Well, that's how you know it's a
creativity as a
banger.
vessel thing, you know? It's like
Yeah.
uh, ancient Romans would talk about it. They would say, his creativity is like a ghost that possesses you, and
Mm.
it's like, you know, literally like the muse coming through. The root word of music is muse, and
Mhm.
it's interesting that a lot of times my absolute best things have come out in 2 or 3 hours, and I don't remember what I did at all. It's like I was literally possessed. But that's where I try to get to, and the minute I find myself trying to big brain some shit, really, the minute I try to intellectually think about what's going on, I lose the wave a lot.
Yeah.
And so I do not I try to feel more than think in a creative
But
session.
but do you have to be good at making music to do that?
I think you have to be experienced,
Mhm.
that's definitely not like some day one shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think those moments get to happen until you're good.
Yeah,
Like, so that's why I think it's so important to focus on just understanding the DAW really is what
yeah,
matters. It's like, can I get the thing from my brain to the computer?
totally.
Like,
And
that's
that
the skill.
that speed is essential.
Oh my god,
Like
that's the only skill you
that's the
need
sauce.
is brain to computer.
Then that's what's gotten me so many jobs. Like I do a lot of ghostwriting and writing for the artists, and it's simply like I can do 5 demos in a day, like, I can just get it out so quickly, and we can get off the ground so fast because, I don't know, it's like an extension of my hand now more than a
Yeah.
like, I don't have to think about this, and, like, I can't get down with Current or, all these other synths. Like, I gotta use Serum 1 for the most part because I don't wanna have to think about where the envelopes are. I just wanna know where it is, because then I can just really flow, and it's
Mm.
like, I don't wanna think. I don't wanna think at all, and, like, I just wanna do and feel, and, I become more comfortable with new software sometimes, but I'm the kind of person that's been using the same sample packs I've been using for 15 years, and I'm reluctant to update stuff, and I like the old stuff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I got Serum 6 years after it came out because I wasn't done with Operator yet.
Mm.
I had to wring every little drop of water out of that sponge first,
Current is tight though.
Current's tight, but the layout confuses me, and it
Mm.
slows me down, and, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, so I think that's one end of the spectrum, and I think other producers love the analytic approach.
totally.
And I think that what's most important And what takes a good amount of time is understanding what do you even love,
Yeah.
and how do you learn that without knowing the tools? At least a
Toucan
little bit.
Sam process. I always call it follow your nose. Just do what you want.
Do you
Um,
want?
yeah, and it's important to treat Ableton more like a Dexter's Lab or like a sandbox than it is a tune machine.
Well, you said
And
earlier that you thought FL was a video game, and I thought that that was interesting.
right?
Yeah.
And if you're just curious and having fun and exploring and not treating it like a factory that generates songs that make you money, it becomes a lot easier to make stuff because you're just like it's like you're at Disney World and you're just exploring. And the minute you kind of find the optimal route to get here, it's like you done fucked up, man. There is no optimal route. Like, just get in there and have fun, and shift your focus from creating a song that's gonna get you something that you can show someone to just having fun and getting better. And like via that, songs just come out. You
Mm.
know? That's how it goes, and a lot of it is your mindset and your why you're doing it has a lot to do with what comes out of it. Like, expectations are a huge part of this, and having expectations is kind of like where the bad feelings come from, and not
Yeah,
to
because
say
that's
that
where failure comes from.
absolutely,
How could you
absolutely.
fail if you don't?
If your goal is to not do anything, if your goal is to just fuck around, you can't fail, you know? And, obviously, it's a little bit easier to have a song come out when you're experienced and you're just fucking around, but, that's why you should have a healthy amount of just fucking around and exploring
Well, yeah, you get a
before
lot
you
better
get
at
into it.
fucking around.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
get
mean, it
it's a
took
skill.
decades of fucking around for
Yeah, yeah,
me,
yeah. Yeah,
like
fucking around is a skill.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
but that's just that the skill of being good at fucking around, does it not come from just fucking around?
Yeah.
It's
Y
like
the being a human, the more you do something, the better you get at it. And
mm,
if you're comfortable just opening Ableton to just plink around and click around and kinda see what happens, it's like the last thing you wanna do is hover over the Ableton icon and have a bad feeling. If you're like, "Oh shit, here we go again," like the Grand Theft Auto meme, it's like, I promise you that song's gonna suck, you know?
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
factually, yes.
yeah, like, what's on the inside is gonna be in your song, how you're feeling is gonna be in your song, and if you desperately need this to be a hit, it's not gonna be.
No fucking shot.
Yeah,
No fucking
it
shot.
but if you're just like, I wonder what this does," I that has gotten me so much.
Yeah, and you can't get upset when I wonder what this does, it turns into nothing.
Or if you miss the mark, that's better than hitting it, man. Like,
Mhm.
if you're inspired by something, you're trying to recreate it, and you're 5 degrees off. We already got the other thing. It's about being able to see what happens for what it is, and being able to pivot. And I can't tell you the amount of times a mistake has been sick. And if I didn't have the right mindset to accept that something that wasn't my goal that appeared to me was cooler than what I even wanted, I would have glossed over it as a mistake.
Mm, interesting. Eh, that's really dope. It's being able to just kind of shift your mindset on what even is a mistake when it comes to art. It's like, is
You have
it?
to separate yourself from what you're making.
Mm,
It's not even your art, and the fact is, like, a lot of people attach their personal value to their artistic output, and that's just an easy way to get in the hole. If we're just vessels for creativity, it's not even your fucking song. It just is what it is. You wrote it down. Somebody whispered a story in your ear and you wrote it down. Sometimes it's sick, sometimes it's not. It's got nothing to do with you. And that was kind of a huge turning point in my career is when I separated my artistic output from my personal worth. It's more like catching fish than making fish,
mm,
you know? So, if you go to the pond and there's no fish, it's got nothing to do with you as a fisherman, you know? Sometimes there's fish and sometimes there aren't. You can go look for fish at other places. You can get better tools to catch fish and shit like that, but you know, it's got nothing to do with you if what comes out is good or bad. And you can definitely hone your ability to find good fish, but that's the nature of this shit is you're catching an idea, you're not making an idea.
that's real. So we are just a vessel.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that thought process of like, I'm sick, I made this sick thing can cause you problems.
Hmm. Do you not bump your own music?
Uh, like every once in a while I'll go back and listen to the old stuff, but no, I really don't. And honestly, I feel like that is a trap.
Mm,
And especially while it's in the creation process, I feel like there's a clock ticking. And the
mm.
longer you work on something, the harder it is to finish sometimes. I try to get a playable demo in the same day as the inception of the idea.
Yeah. Well,
It's so
you
hard to
have
get
an
back.
Ableton flow like no one I've ever seen. Like,
That's what's important though.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, I make music really fast. You make music faster than me. I rarely meet people that make music faster than I do. And
Session view, bro.
I know. I need to book a mentor session with you. No
I got
cap.
you, dog.
And
I
by the
got
way,
you.
anyone in the chat wants to book a mentor session with Petey, the absolute legend, dude.
Hey,
Do you
I'm
guys,
available.
if you're in the chat right now, do you know how good Petey is at making music?
Oh, come on.
Like,
Come on.
it's he's really really good. And like, I'm just gonna drop this link in the chat for everybody right now because this is important. This guy, as someone who's been making music and been around music producers for a long time and collaborated with millions of artists, PD has a very unique approach to making music, and it's really successful. Like I don't think I've ever seen you miss, Pete. And
Oh,
it's like,
I miss all the time.
sure, well then you're really good at hiding it, but like your misses, and I think this is something to note, that if you can find your own, and again, this takes time, like
Yeah.
everything, but like developing your own way to navigate through music production. If you're, I don't say that, I can't say that it's a fact that your end goal should to be a technically efficient music producer, but that's how I view it.
Yeah.
I love being fast because it's just like the
It's
less
essential.
clicks, the more fun I have. And I try to stress that to everyone I have. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, learn the DAW and learn your own way. It doesn't fucking matter how you do it.
Mhm.
But dude, how often, I mean, you don't see the wall in front of you that's
Yeah.
blocking your brain from
Yeah.
touching the computer. Like you said, it's an extension of your own
Yeah.
hand,
I don't
right?
even feel like I don't use a mouse. Like I have to have the trackpad on my laptop
Okay,
just because
that's
I'm
weird.
so
Yeah.
used to it. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. That's because you've been locked in.
mhm.
p-
Well,
Produce
I
like this
remember when I lived in
posture.
Charlotte. Yeah, exactly.
You
That's me,
know,
bro.
if
That's
you
me.
see this motherfucker in the green room, watch out. You
That's
know,
me, bro.
that's the real shit. Like, but that came through time, but it came through that. It came through.
Yeah. Just experience, like just
Yeah.
doing it so much, honestly.
Yeah.
And I remember like I used to have a big studio with a bunch of stuff in it when I lived in Charlotte, and like, I had all my shit set up, and I used to use this as an excuse when I was on the road to not work on stuff. I'd be like, oh, I got to get back home to like work on this, and I got so busy that after a while I just started making beats on the plane and at the gate and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I don't even have a MIDI controller anymore. I just do everything right off the laptop, like eighth inch in to my headphones.
Yeah.
That's it, baby. I use the laptop keyboard for most stuff, or I just pin it in. And it's mostly because it just comes out a lot quicker. And something that really changed for me, there's a Machine Drum interview in Accelerator like way back in the day, and he uses this
Legend.
insane analogy where he says, liken yourself to a painter, a ship painter on the edge of a river. You're painting the ships that go by. Uh, like inspiration is fleeting. Like the ship is going to leave. So it's kind of important that you get the sketch of the outside, kind of like just kind of put it in with placeholder stuff, not worry about the color of the shutters on the windows as much, because the ship's going to be gone in 5 minutes.
Mm.
And you can fill in a lot of the details from memory and stuff later, but like the idea is going to leave you. And being able to with speed get the idea into the DAW is the absolute most important thing. We can't control when inspiration comes and or how long it stays. So you got to strike while the iron's hot. Even if you're standing in line at Target with a thing of toilet paper in your hand, like, you got to be able to get the idea out if it's in a voice note or Ableton note or
Yeah.
whatever, because it's it's not going to bend to your will. And most of the success as far as like becoming better at creating quickly and stuff is me bending to the idea's will.
Right. You're harnessing some greater power.
Exactly. And I'm getting out of the way instead of trying to force it into what I want. Fuck
Mm,
what I want, you know?
mm-hmm.
Like I try to be true to the idea and the inspiration, and I try to, you know, let go of all that and not even think about it and just be the best translator I can for the idea and take myself out of it. It's a big ego thing, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, man. This was fun.
Yeah. I got Diablo 4 to play, to be
I
honest,
know
man.
you're busy. I have to learn in Jinx. It's fine. No, man. Oh, dude, it's been awesome having you. You're an absolute legend. I
Fuck yeah, man.
appreciate it
I
every
appreciate it.
time I get to speak to you, man. You're just the
Yeah.
coolest.
We
And
should do this more often.
we should. I think I just love talking to you. You know,
Yeah.
I was like earlier today, I was writing down a bunch of questions and I was like, what am I fucking doing?
You're not
We
gonna
don't
get
need
to the
questions. We're not
questions,
getting any
man. You're not
questions.
getting the
No, that
questions.
was, that was so fun, man. And shout out to
Yeah.
everyone in the chat. Shout out Monodef. You're awesome. Thanks for the sub and learning from the absolute icon, PD
Hit,
Clicks.
hit me up.
Hit up PD through Future Proof.
City.
Come join Future Proof. 7 days, absolutely free. You won't regret it. You'll have the best time ever, and you get to learn from amazing producers just like PD.
And
And
every week I have a office hour where I talk about shit like this. We don't even open the door.
yeah,
We just talk about inspiration, creativity, and honing the craft. Kind
yeah, super awesome. So yeah,
of.
that's it for us. This is Patch Notes 5. Max signing off. PD signing off. Much love to
Peace.
everybody, and we will see you guys on the other side. Much love.
Goodbye. Oh, oh, oh.
Goodbye.